They weren't here to rob us. I was 18 at the time. It was the start of summer, so school was out. No job, no responsibilities. Most of my days were spent inside, playing video games, watching YouTube, Netflix. Just enjoying the freedom. Nothing unusual. Until that night. My parents had gone out of town for a few days. They did that sometimes, and it was never a big deal. Sometimes I'd invite friends over. But that night, I just wanted to be alone. I was stretched out on the couch, watching a rerun of one of my favorite shows on Netflix. Scrolling through my phone. It was late, maybe 11 p.m., maybe midnight, when it happened. I paused the TV and got up. It didn't even register at first how late it was. I almost opened the door without thinking. But something told me to check. I looked through the peephole. 2 men. Standing on the porch. Dressed similarly. Just waiting. No movement. No knocking again. Just still. I froze. Should I speak? Should I pretend I wasn't home? Then one of them said, "Hello? We're here to speak with Mr. and Mrs. Ian." Why would anyone be looking for them this late? I stayed quiet. Something felt off. They stood there for a bit longer, whispered something to each other, then walked off the porch. I didn't see any headlights. No car. Which meant they walked. That made it worse. I went back to the couch but left the TV on pause. Just listening. A few minutes later, they were back. But this time, they didn't knock. They walked around the side of the house. I ran to the back window. They were inside the yard now. They opened the fence, walked through. I ducked out of view. They went straight to the back door. I could hear them talking. Then, trying the handle. That was my cue. I grabbed my phone and slipped into the garage, quietly. I called the police. Told them someone was trying to break in. A loud sound echoed through the house. The back door slid open. I heard footsteps. Going through the living room. Then up the stairs. A door opened. Then closed. And after that, nothing. I waited in the garage. 10 minutes. 10 slow, terrifying minutes. Until I heard sirens outside. Lights. Car doors. Then, quick footsteps upstairs. I heard the 2 men arguing. Officers came through the back door, rushed upstairs. One of them opened the garage. Found me. They got the men. There was no struggle. No resistance. But also, no explanation. They never said why they were there. And even after weeks passed, the only thing they were charged with was breaking and entering. But I know it wasn't just that. They asked for my parents. They waited upstairs. They weren't robbing the house. They were waiting. And I keep wondering, if I had opened the door, would they have gone away? Or would they have done the same thing to me? The voice from the basement. It was raining hard that night. I was home alone. My parents had left town unexpectedly. The sound of rain hitting the roof was steady, almost calming, until I heard something else. A voice, faint, almost like a whisper, coming from the basement. I thought maybe I imagined it. But then it came again. My blood went cold. The basement was locked, it always was. But when I went to check, I saw the door was slightly open. I hesitated. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. Just the sound of dripping water echoing from below. I turned on my phone's flashlight, but the battery died instantly. Then, the lights in the house flickered and went out completely. That's when I heard footsteps coming up the basement stairs. Slow. Heavy. I slammed the door shut and locked it. Called the police. When they arrived, they searched the basement. They didn't find anyone. But on the cold concrete floor, they found barefoot footprints and a damp, moldy mattress in the corner. That was terrifying. The visitor during the storm. It was just me that night. The storm outside was loud. Wind, thunder, rain pouring like a waterfall. I was on the couch, music in my ears. I heard intercom buzzes abruptly. I looked at the clock. 1:47 a.m. I thought it was a mistake, but I answered. A woman's voice, trembling, but too calm, asking for help. She said she was lost in the storm. I asked where she was. She said she was outside, in my yard. I peeked through the window. She was there, standing completely still, soaking wet, staring straight at the house. She didn't blink, didn't move, just smiled. I went back to the intercom. I asked, "Who are you?" Then she said something very creepy.
"Don't you remember me? I used to live here. They never let me leave."
I locked every door, hid in the bathroom. I waited there until sunrise. The next morning, I checked the cameras. Nothing. No one at the gate. No one in the yard. But at 1:47 a.m. exactly, all had happened again and I froze.